Okay, so we are back again with another live analysis. All right. It's good to be here again. So let's get right into it, okay? Um, Today we're going to be looking into another session of live analysis. All right, but before we get into that, let us look into Forex Factory and see what we have up ahead for the day. Okay. So coming up here, this is what we have for today. If you guys notice it, I actually put in the medium impact news this time around. Okay, so we have high impact, medium impact, another high impact, and medium again. This one has already happened. This one is the JDP of AUD, all right, of Australia. CPI of Swiss franc has already passed. Okay, so as we get into the New York session, we are seeing here that we have one for the USD, the non-farm employment change. All right, this here is your NFP basically. All right, though I really don't know why we have it on a Wednesday. Okay, I don't think it's it. This is ADP. I don't think that's it. But anyways, we're going to have this one now by 2:15. All right, and based on the forecast, the forecast is 25K and the previous one was 42K. I feel like there's going to be a great change here. Like I don't know. Like let's check something here. At the previous ones that came before. Okay, why is this? It's this here was the previous one. I think it was revised or something. Okay, it's a 42. Then the previous one was minus 23. No, that's crazy. This is going to shake the market a little bit. By 2:30 we have the ECB president speaking. We have PMI by 4 p.m. on the USD. For the euro, the central bank president is going to speak again by 4:30. All right, and by 8:30 we are going to have President Trump speaking. I think I might want to close my trades around this time unless I'm very close to my TP, because I don't know, anytime that Trump comes to talk, something always happens. All right. Okay, so let us get into the charts and see what we have. All right, for the week ahead. All right, here we go. As you guys will know, we had this setup on a Monday. All right, I think I showed you guys the setup here. On that Monday, this is a 1:6.9. Okay, basically 1:7. Current is running profits. We had another trade here along the week. This was on Tuesday. I dropped this trade idea on X, and I think I also dropped it in my community, but sadly it did not play out. Okay, so now currently I don't really see much happening on Nasdaq right now. I'm literally just looking for price to just hit TP around here. But this here is actually needing a range, right? Okay, it's actually sweep, but like I don't really see why price shouldn't actually touch this TP. Okay, this TP here, I think if I'm not mistaken, is from equal highs, right? Okay, no, it's from this high around here. But yeah, it's close by and we're not too far off. Okay, so there's a good chance that price is just like going to keep on going up from here. Before, we don't really have any other POIs there. On the 2-hour time frame, we use the fair value gap. I feel like price actually is the 2-hour fair value gap instead. I mitigated. I refined mine to the 30-minute time frame, but I think, yeah, look at it here. It's okay. No, I actually missed it though. If you guys don't know, I like to use the 50% of the fair value gap, but I missed it out. So now, well, that is that. No crying for the spilled milk. So let me erase these things here so that we have a clearer view there. As of here, price actually mitigated the 4-hour fair value gap. Okay, this actually could have been an entry, but then I didn't want to take a trade from here simply because of the stop loss. It was, to me, I felt like it was a little bit big, but then I feel like I should have just taken it like that. I was looking for a lower time frame entry. That's why when I saw the sweep and then the breakout structure here, I was like, okay, maybe we are going to go from this fair value gap here, or maybe the other block that was around here. But price had other plans. So eventually we are leaning into these highs around here. So this is the new daily range, meaning that there should be something around here that could tell us about where price is going to head to next. Okay. Let's check out the 30-minute time frame and see what we have there. Okay. So on the 30-minute time frame, I don't actually have much information about price right now. At least my particular model that I use is not really here yet. Okay, but if I should look into something here or something that looks close to what I trade, I'll say that this fair value gap here was quite nice, although it was invalidated, but still, look at this. It feels price is respecting it right now. Okay, so we are probably having a reaction from this particular spot. Okay, that might push price to the upside. We can actually use this here as a form of sweep. Okay, price looks to be high, so we're still bullish regardless. Okay, so there's that. Let's check the 15 minutes. On the 15 minutes, we don't have much there, but like now, that fair value gap that we were using before, okay, has now turned into a BPR around here. So now, we can now refine this area a little bit more. Okay, so it becomes this. I want to use this particular one instead of this one here because this one has a smaller range. Okay, so whenever you have two fair value gaps overlapping each other, usually we are going to create what's called a BPR or a balanced price range. Okay, and how you trade this is basically you go by the one that has the smallest range. You can either use the top or the 50%. Personally, I love using 50%. Okay, so that my stop loss becomes smaller. So the 50% would have been around here. Price has tested it twice. Okay, to me that's not really a good thing. I don't like seeing price testing a POI too many times. Okay, so this basically is the trade idea over here. Stop loss here, then your TP would have been around here, giving you 1 to 4.7. okay, but I think I'll just wait for price to like break to the highs so that I'll have an extra confirmation that we are trying to move up from there. Then probably we might see another setup from there, maybe in the New York session. All right, but yeah, that was for Nasdaq. So far so good. It's only the Monday setup that we have over here. Okay, let us look into DXY. All right, so I want to pinpoint something for everyone now. Okay, earlier this week on Monday, I said that we had a fair value gap here. I think it was on the 4 time frame, right? Yes, it's on the 4 time frame. Okay, so I was trying to like narrate the story that happened around here and how price was just becoming bearish, and now as of yesterday we created the high of the week. Okay, on Tuesday we created the high of the week for DXY. Okay, so it came right on time. I told you guys that I'm going to be expecting price to reverse back. I think it was from the daily time frame. I told you guys that there was going to be a change instead of delivery. I think it was around here. I can't really remember at this point, but yeah, this is something like that. The price was actually supposed to come back. Okay, take this guy here as endorsements, and then we are going to use this fair value gap to push price downwards, and this is exactly what is happening today. Okay, this is actually the reason why I'm selling UJ. If you're following me on X, I dropped this buyer on USD JPY, okay, and Euro USD. Although Euro USD actually took me out. So this here was the POI that I had. I think it was the 1 hour other block that I saw here. Look at this here. These last 2 blocks here. Okay, and then we had this endorsement liquidity. Now, some people have been like, okay, why not this fair value gap? Simply because this particular candle has already entered inside the fair value gap and mitigated it, meaning that to me it's no longer useful. But then there's something else that is in here that is looking good, which is this other block that we have here. Okay, so and in conjunction to that, we have the OTE sitting around the other block area. Okay, so as you can see, price reached to the OTE and now price is dropping heavily from there. Okay, so I'm currently on this trade right now, a 1:5. Okay, the one on EU was this one here. Okay, sadly, DXY actually spiked yesterday, all right, and I was stopped out of this trade. Okay, two of them actually. So I posted this on X. I said as a trade idea, okay, bullish on EU, bearish on UJ. Okay, so the trades are actually, the bias that I dropped there was actually right. It was very nice. It was very okay. But the problem is that there was a spike that happened on DXY, and for some reason, they just decided to like stop me out here. Okay, on my two trades basically. So yeah, I had a double loss here because of that. But I'm still very much bullish on EU. Okay, my main target actually is actually this point here. Let me show you guys why. Let me get back to DXY. So I was saying something on DXY that on the daily time frame, okay, I think from the daily and the weekly time frame, you are switching bias to bearish like full time. All right. So if you observe with me here, this here is a sweep. There was another sweep here around here too, but like this here is actually a major sweep. And if by the end of the week we close below this candle here, price is going to retrace back inside here. Use this particular candle as a possible order block, and then every single high, well, as of the weekly time frame, we don't really have a particular high here. It's on the daily time frame you're going to be seeing these ones, but then on the weekly time frame, if you actually do that, if you actually change structure here, then we're going to be turning to a bearish DXY. Now let me tell you some of the things that is actually making me support this idea. We have the quantitative tightening. I think they closed it or something like that earlier this week. All right, meaning that the DXY is going to be bearish. A lot of people are expecting rate cuts this December. More reason for us to be bearish. Okay, and then this is what the year is about to close, so there's going to be less volatility in the market and all that. But like, you know, everybody's going to take a break, so there might be less volatility or less liquidity inside the market, but still we do have a bias of where price is going to. So there's a bunch of things telling me that okay, the DXY is going to be bearish long term for now, at least maybe let's say to like February, January or thereabout. Okay, but I know that for December I'm bearish on the DXY. Okay, on the daily time frame, I marked out all these lows here as possible places where I could take profits. Okay, in case I find an entry. Also, we do have here a trend line. A trend line here. Price might come back to it and then drop from there. Okay, so that's for support resistance traders or trend line traders. You guys can actually use that in your favor as well. So remember that I said in the weekly time frame that I'm expecting price to return back to that candle that we saw here that looked like another block. That might be that retracement that we're talking about happening on that trend line. All right. So just to show that multiple strategies can still work together side by side. Okay. But yeah, I'm still very much bearish on DXY and for good reason. Okay. So I think I'll be holding most of my trades. In case I find another setup on EU, sure, why not? I'll take another buy and hold. For GU, I think this was the trade that I posted yesterday for those of us in the community. I think I think I posted this trade on that particular Monday as well, because this setup was from Wednesday last week. So I was telling you guys that we are ranging around here, and then price was supposed to like come back to this other block and lift off from there. But sadly, that's not what happened there. So we actually missed the setup. Okay, we had a little sweep around here, and that kind of like gave it away though. So eventually, there's going to be a retracement, and when the retracement comes, I hope you're going to be ready to catch it. Then let me check something out here. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, okay, let's take some steps back, okay, and see what is happening in the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so now my ideas here are actually changing, okay, because like we had this 4-hour fair value gap just here, all right, showing that we should be heading a bullish way. Now we reacted from the 4-hour fair value gap, and then we had this here. This is your last down close candle before a break of structure, right? So this here can also serve as your other block. So if this here is your other block, then you're actually right on time for that. It's just that I was trying to refine my entry. Okay, and where are we targeting exactly? Okay, we have equal highs around here, and then we have a bunch of highs that are untapped. So all this here is buy side liquidity, so any of them could actually be used. For me personally, this equal highs was actually my main target here. All right. So okay. So okay. So my connection just dropped for like a minute there. So my bad about that. But I think it's more stable than the other days, right? So keep on improving into the whole YouTube thing. So forgive me, I'm new to this. Okay. But yeah. Oh wow, we actually had a nice POI around here. Okay, so let us zoom into this a little bit. This is the 1 hour time frame, right? We had a sweep here. After the sweep, we saw that there's a fair gap around here. Okay, and not just that, but like this here is a change instead of delivery because it closed above the high of this candle. Sorry, the open of this candle. Open of this candle. Okay, so that kind of like validates the setup here. Price came back, tapped into the fair gap, and then started moving up from there. So it's actually a trade that we missed. This happened around 11 midnight, so I don't think I would even catch that because I wouldn't be awake for that, to be very honest. But yeah, let us keep on moving, sure. For AUSD, let's see. I think I can clean this up. I has already hit my targets. So one is to 5 and one is to 6. Both of them went to shit. So clean it up. There's something that I'm seeing here right now, okay? For USD, okay, we do have here this nice sweep. Okay, we swept the sell side liquidity here. Then over here we have a fair value gap, right? So that fair value gap might actually be useful in the future for us. So it's good that we keep that marked out. Okay. I would like to see price coming back to see that fair value gap again, and maybe from there we're going to see some trade ideas. Okay, maybe I might just take the trade just like that. Usually how I take my trade is that I just place a long here. My stop loss usually in the first candle that created a fair value gap. This is just for my safety. Okay, there's some people that just keep it at the low of the fair value gap, but to me that's kind of risky, sure. Then my TP as usual is going to be at the utmost points you get. So this is going to give me 1 to 10. The minimum I can take is actually 1 to 3 and I can close my trade. But yeah, this one is actually valid for me. Okay, so it's when price decides to start retracing back to it. We'll now see how to take a trade from there. Okay, so this is one setup. Then for AUD USD, I've not analyzed this pair in like a long time, so I may not get it right at first, but eventually I'm sure that we're going to find something here. It's a new day, right? So let us analyze the daily charts. Let's do a little bit of a top-down analysis in it. We had a sweep here. Price is actually closing above this high, so in the future, sometime in the future, we might see price coming back to this fair value gap. So basically, remember, price moves from external range liquidity to internal range liquidity and back to external range. What that means is that we're going to take either a high or a low, come back again inside the range, look for another block or a fair value gap especially, okay, and then we're not going to go back outside the range once again. So that's what it means to have price going from external range to internal range and vice versa. All right, so yeah, that's for the daily time frame, by the way. So on the lower time frames, I feel like price is still going to pump a lot more before coming down. So we might want to look into lower time frames for now. So far so good. Price respected this fair value gap, moved up. We had a new range here, another new range now. So this here is a break of structure, right? So if this is a break, then the low of our range should be here, okay, our daily range. This should be the low of our daily range, and then we don't have a particular high formed yet, okay. So if you go down in the lower time frames, now see it from there. Break of structure, sweep of liquidity. So we should be looking into something from here, okay. Lower the range, whatever high we make now, then we can now use it from there. So this here to me might be like an endorsement liquid. I don't see price not go back to the discounts area, right? So it's not be liquidity in the future. What do we have? We have nothing for now. I like this fairly gap, but then we have already like kinda tapped into it. But like, well, who knows? Or might even be this particular candle here. Well, until then. So I'm just going to be left with this. Either this, I think it's going to be this candle now. It's not like it's a bad POI here. So we have that other block there. Some possible endorsements here. Okay, let's look into other stuff. Okay, so this is the idea for now. So most pairs are actually still trending because of the XY, so that might be until tomorrow. Okay. You're looking to GU, UJ, right? So let's look into gold now. For gold, let's go to the daily, right? Daily time frame on gold. We have a sweep, okay, right here. So let me show you what gold is doing right now. We have a sweep here, right? But then this sweep here might not be like for changing structure, okay? A sweep just simply means that price may be wanting to retrace. Okay, if it's about to change structure, then we have to break a low. But then I don't see gold coming back down to this area anytime soon, especially with the whole tensions going on around the world right now. But like, we do have this fair value gap here on the daily time frame, which as of yesterday it was very well respected. Okay, so by today, let's see what comes up gold. Okay, so I believe that as of yesterday we actually made the low of the week on gold, and today we might be expecting some bullish price action to kick in. Okay, might. So we have to actually keep on looking for clues on the 4-hour time frame. What do we get there on the 4-hour time frame? I see here that, let me erase this. We already know that there's a fair value gap there, right? And price is reacting to it. So we have this sweep. Okay, to me this is sweep, and that would make this a change instead of delivery, meaning that this here is basically another block. All right, a nice place to enter from, but then we would actually want to see a change in structure inside price. Okay, like inside this POI, sorry. So this here is the change instead of delivery. We should be seeing something in the lower time frames. Okay, now that we're in lower time frames, what do we get? Okay, so this here was where we had the sweep from. Okay, the change of delivery still happens there. We have this inverse fair value gap, okay, which is this. So far so good. Price seems to be respecting it. I want to see if you can actually close above this highs around here. Do you have anything in 30 minutes time frame? I don't think so. But like right now, there's a mini sweep around here. Okay, let me get this out of the way so that it's become clearer. We have a little sweep here, okay, and if you manage to actually close above, I actually want to say close above, so I don't even want a change in sort of delivery. I actually want to see a BOS, that's the break of structure happening around here. Okay, if I can have that, then I would say that this would be a nice area to start looking for buys. Okay, like to be a nice spot to buy from. We're already inside a fair value gap, which is showing to be respected. Okay, so we might see that buy there happening very soon. Yeah, that was a trade idea there. Okay, so wait for this to happen. If it doesn't happen, then I'm not taking any trades. But if it does happen, then okay, we'll actually be onto something. All right, so that's for gold. I think I've already talked about Nasdaq, right? Yeah, we've talked about Nasdaq. For Bitcoin, yes, we actually need to look into Bitcoin. Okay, daily time frame. Let's go from the daily, and then keep on going down from there. Up. So we had this buy, this massive buy that happened yesterday, right, on Bitcoin after a crash that happened on Monday morning. I don't know why, but like as you can see, we are moving up now. Further fortifying that bias that we have from the weekly time frame that says that Bitcoin is actually bullish, right? So on the 4 hours time frame, I do remember trying to use this place as a POI before. Yes, I did try to use somewhere around here as a POI. So I guess price just came to visit back that particular POI and then move up from there. Anyways, let's continue into whatever you're looking into. Okay. So far so good. Bitcoin is just moving up non-stop. I need to see more bullish candles coming up here, but then we do have this nice fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, this here is a fair value gap, and you would see from here that there's a 1-hour fair value gap there, right? Which is this fair value gap here, but then instead of looking for that, I want to see price coming back to around this area. Why? Because we do have this nice break of structure, and then we do have a fair value gap / other block around here. So I think this could work. All right, but then let me not get my hopes up, because I don't like to see price skyrocketing like this, because sometimes it leaves away some of these fair value gaps which might want to be filled later on, which could give us some trouble. Okay, so that is what's noting. But yeah, this is a break of structure. We could see some possible buys from here. So this is a trade idea. Okay, I think I would actually want to see a buy from the 5-minute or the 15-minute time frame once price gets here. So basically what I want to see is this. Let me erase this. So if price eventually comes back down here, I want to see either a failure swing, right? That is, you're feeling to like go down there or something like this, or you could see a very nice reversal there. All right, there's that too. So one of those two will be more than enough to suffice. But yeah, that's the game plan for Bitcoin right now. Okay, for now we are still very much bullish until we basically break one of the structure. Then I'll know that we have entered a retracement. But so far so good, we don't have any indications of that. 15-minute time frame, I think 30 minutes would do. Let me check something here. So far so good, it's just that particular POI that we have here, so there's not much difference between the 30 minutes and the 1 hour. So yeah, I'll be waiting for Bitcoin at this particular order block, and then we'll see what reaction it gives from there. Okay. Another thing that I would love to see is to see if we are going to go up a little bit more here and then come down again, because this would become endorsement liquidity as well. I mean, this is already endorsement liquidity as it is, you know. So we could see price coming back down here and then going up from there. So it's very possible that could happen as well. Okay, I think that's mostly all. Okay, let me check some other pairs. Let's go into this is 11:30. Let's check JPB AUD. Okay, so I don't know if some of you may recall this. I think it was from last week. Yeah, I think it was around last week. I was telling you guys that should be last week, Thursday or Wednesday. I was saying that we had a large range around here. Okay, so price, I think it was on the daily time frame. I'm not sure. Wait, I think it was on the 4-hour. Yes, I think it was 4-hour here. So we had this large accumulation around here. Price came up, yes, here, and then started going back down almost instantly. Okay, so that basically just shows that this might be what is called an AMD pattern. Okay, now AMD stands for accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution, which should be this downside that we are looking at right now. Okay, so basically what this means is that I was expecting price to actually go down from there. Okay, and as you can see here, we're doing exactly that. We also have our trend line over here. When price broke down with this particular candle, came back up again, touched that trend line and started going down from there. Okay, alongside that, we did have a fair value gap. I think it was on the 1 hour 30 minutes time frame. Okay, this one should be a refined one. This is the 30 minutes time frame around here. Okay, price came back, but I think this one has another block too. Right, and since then we have just been on a down here. Okay, let's see if we have something else inside there. So let's check into price and see if it gives us any other clues of what we might be facing right now. But look at this. We don't really have any other POIs forming. It's just a straight down road from there. Okay. That whole trade I think was a 1:13, and currently this is a 1:7 at this first POI here, which we touched down earlier today. Okay. So on the 2 hour time frame, this here was the last break of structure. All right. So if this is a break of structure, then this thing here is going to be our daily range. So from this low to this high, price has already started tracing. So we now have a low and a high established already. So we want to look into what POIs could price offer from here. On Wednesday, we saw that price came up here, okay, and then basically dumped from there. Okay, wait, that was today, right? Yes, that was today. I don't know what I'm saying Wednesday, but yeah, in the early hours of today, we saw price coming here. I think that was from the news on AUD, okay. And if the news on AUD was actually that strong, then it could be that we're actually switching buyers, okay, after hitting this target. It's very possible stuff like that actually happen, because I mean, look at these candles right now, okay. So we might not be bearish full time, but then until we cross this high, we are still bearish for me, okay. I don't really see any POIs that price could be using here right now, okay. Well, there's this sweep, okay. So we would actually want to see some structure changes on the lower time frame, like 5 minutes. I guess 5 minutes should be better for that, but we don't really have much there, okay. We don't have much there, so I'm going to leave this one aside. Let's look into JPBCHF. Daily time frame. So for JPBCHF, we closed bearish for 3 days on a row. Then we do have a nice bullish candle forming today. All right. So in the 4 hour time frame, what do we get? On the 4 hour time frame, we do have. Oh, this is nice. So look at this. We have a sweep. Okay. There's a sweep here. There is a break of structure here. All right. So now it feels like price is retracing, isn't it? So we're going to use this Fibonacci retracement and look out for the premium on discounts. So this year's discount is the premium. I'm expecting price at least come down to 0.5 before you can find the buy. Okay. So on the, let's check the lower time frames. Now the 1 hour time frame, what we do have here is, well, since price went straight through this particular area, right? I would believe that this here could actually be a breaker block. Okay, I want to believe that this could be a breaker block. Whenever price is rushing through a particular POI so fast, usually that other block becomes a breaker block. Okay, so far so good. We don't really have any of any endorsements. We don't have any static breakers or other blocks here. Okay, so even at, look at this, even as of that, so price already swept here, broke down through the structure, came back, used two candles as another block, and basically hit TP around here. So now price is just literally trying to just reverse. Okay, so okay, I think I've seen something here. This is also a break of structure. All right, so this here should be the low of the range. I think we can get rid of this right now. This should be the low of the range, right? And this is the high. So we have two main ideas here right now. Number one is that price is going to come back to this fair value gap. Use this fair value gap to keep on going up, or we might come down to this particular block here, which I believe is also the last block before we actually broke structurally upside from here and from here. Okay, so this could actually be our other block, right? 15-minute time frame, let's check what we have there. Okay, so that other block becomes more visible on the 15-minute time frame now. Okay, so I think I might want to use that there. This here is inside our golden zone. Okay, and also we had a sweep, a break of structure, and another block being used here. So I would assume that this pair actually likes to use other blocks. Okay, alongside that, we do have here a nice fairly gap which was used. This here is a series of other blocks. We have another one inside here could have been refined to this particular point, but then we wouldn't get triggered. But then use this particular one, then you would have tapped in and continued from there. So basically, like what, 2 entries now. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with this particular candles down here, okay, and take this as my entry. So basically, I'm going to take a long around here, okay. Then my stop loss is there. My TP is here. This is a 2.8. Now, if we are indeed, well, we had the sweep, right? We had the break of structure, so yeah, definitely we are now switching buyers. So I'm going to have this high as my POI, as my target. Okay, so that's my buy side liquidity giving me a 1:5 right here. So this is what I get right now. Okay, this particular pair. So I'm going to take this trade. Going to save it up here for something that I'm going to definitely be watching. Let's look into something else. Let me just set an alarm. Okay, let me just know when price is crossing the 0.5% or the 50%, the equilibrium points in our Fibonacci. Okay, it's very important that you know and be early on time. So let's check JPB, JPY, and Euro JPY. They are both going up, but then USD JPY is just dropping. That's kind of crazy, you know. Let me just look into this right real quick, because like I correlation in the month. So 4 hours time frame, what do we get? Okay, on the 4 hour time frame, we have a break of structure to the upside here. By the way, if you're watching this right now, I would love to know your favorite pair. So if you're watching this right now, please drop your favorite pair in the comments. Let's see if you have something in common there. Okay. So yeah, like I was about to say, we had a break. We had a sweep here, break of structure. This was actually the main break of structure around here. Then price used this little fair value gap. I think I've said this 1,000 times, but like, the size of the fair value gap does not matter. So long as there's a fair value gap, then there's a fair value gap there. Okay, so you guys should get to know that. So fair value gap here, price pumped up, broke structure. Now we should be expecting what? A retracement back inside the range. I don't know if this is the retracement trying to happen here right now, but like, this here could be a very nice trade idea. Okay, this is inside my golden zone, so I think I would love to see price using this guy here. This could be our order block, okay, on the 4 hour time frame. So if that is the order block, then price will come here and then go all the way up to the high again, which we have equal highs around this area. Okay, relative equal highs, which is liquidity to me. I believe we have very high chances of actually reaching up to that particular point, but then we need to dump here first. Can we refine that? Do we have a refine? Oh, this is looking ugly. I don't like to see price moving like this, like, you know, sideways range and all of that. I don't vibe with that. Okay, but that fair value gap that we had in the higher time frame can now be refined to this particular point here. Still can be used anyways, but like, what? Look at this. I don't like to see this. Okay, so I'm waiting for price to come back. I don't know if the 2 hour time frame is okay. The 2 hour time frame is a bit clearer. Last 2 down close candles before the break of structure and possible break of structure with a fair value gap. So yeah, it ticks out on our criteria here. And check this out here. We also have a little sweep around here, which actually adds my confluences. So a long position will be taken from here. Stop loss could be either yeah, this is the safe spot here. Okay, that's about 26 pips. We don't have any other targets right on the high time frame. We don't. So we're 1:5 on this one as well. Same thing with JPB. What again? JPB CHF. So this is 2 particular setups, identical setups on the same across correlated pairs. So I would believe that this might be coming from JBP alone. Okay. Then this here is Euro JPY, and as you guys can see, it did me dirty some time ago. I think this was last week. Okay, so it triggered, gave me, I think this was a 1:3, right? Around, yeah, 1:3, and then now reverse from there. You know, that time that you're taking a trade and eventually your trade just kind of like malfunctions. All of a sudden you're in profit, but then all of a sudden you're just in losses once again. Yeah, that's the feeling that I had that day. Okay, but yeah, kind of stuff like that actually happened. Okay, so it's not really a big deal to me anymore. So let us look into this here. Obeyed the fair value gap here. We're breaking structurally upside. So when we break the upside around here, let's go up to the 4-hour. Okay, look at this here. It's a very nice, clean fair value gap being obeyed. I want to see a break above this particular high. Okay, so I can validate the structure there, and then we can now bring it back, and from there we might see price keep on going up from there. Okay, so we don't have that yet, so we will assume that price is going to go up, go down, and go up again. So basically this is what I have for Euro JPY. Okay, somebody asked me if I use indicators. No, I don't like to use indicators. I like to use my raw chart just the way it is. So basically I just have my drawings, and that's what I like to use. So if I have another block or a fair value gap or a trend line, breaker structures, you know, just raw price action, that's what I like to use. Okay. Okay, Kelvin, your favorite pair is NAS 100. I think you're already looking to NAS 100, right? I say that NAS is having a little bit of a hard time there in pumping, sure, but like I believe that it's going to pump soon, hopefully. Price is just ranging around here right now. Okay, I did not actually take this setup off, by the way. It's just a trade idea. I needed to see something better than this, but it was just something I was talking about. I mentioned about price sweeping the low, then breaking the high, so making this a possible or a valid POI, but I'm not taking this particular trade. It's too close to my target, and I need something that will give me more at this point. I'm desperately looking for a 6-hour trade, so I think I've just gotten that with I think I got that with my these two setups that we just analyzed now, this last two here. Okay, for Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin is coming back to the other block. For gold, we still need to like break above this particular high. Then let's check. Here's the JPY, still going down, still behaving nicely. All right, still expecting more sells on it. Oh yeah, by the way, there was actually an inner structure inside there. Okay, I think it was on the 30-minute time frame. Yes, 30 minutes. So 30 minutes time frame, we had a breaker structure downside, a sweep around here. Price actually came up over here. Usually, I would keep my stop loss at this particular level over here. Okay, but then this time around, I kept my stop loss around here, so I'm still in this trade. Haha, jokes on this pair. So I actually have two trades inside this USD JPY. Okay, this was the other block that I used to push price to the downside. This is a quasi-model entry, so basically came back all the way to the slow around here and then pushed down from there. Okay, so we have that, and I guess I'm selling profits up to now, so it's a good thing. On DXY, we are still looking at lower prices. Okay, we had this sweep here, we not actually come back to this range. We might do that after closing below here and maybe below this candle as well, so you might be observing that. Okay, so yeah, this is basically all the things that we analyzed for today. I'm sorry if you're hearing any background noise. My noise cancellation is activated, so I don't know how well it is working until I watch this video. And then I'm going to be dropping some educational contents. Okay, I made a post about that on YouTube some time ago, so a few hours ago about it. So I'm going to drop a full model for people that want to learn how to trade. Right. So basically, the first part actually is learning how to use market structure. All right. Market structure is literally the base for every single strategy. If you don't have market structure, then you don't really have a good strategy. Then after that, I'm going to put in some extra concepts. Okay, fair value gap, order block, using premium and discounts. Once that's out, then I'll now put on one last video, which is coupling it all together. right? Then from there we might have some other contents, you know, just normal tips. There's actually a video that I'm supposed to drop later today or maybe tomorrow morning about Go Charting. Okay, Go Charting is actually a platform where you can backtest. So the whole video is basically about the platform, like how to use the platform. Okay, so yeah, we have that there. All right, so I think I'll be ending my live analysis here for today. We don't actually have many setups. Okay, we just have biases at this particular point. We have a bullish bias on gold, we have a bearish bias on UJ and DXY, we have a bullish bias on BTC. Okay, we also have, okay, we do have two setups. One is on JPBCHF and the other one is on JPB JPY. Okay, so I would actually want to see price coming around here, so let me set an alert there too. So yeah, let me go and set up my trades. Okay, and I'm wishing you guys a very happy and profitable week. Okay, we still have like what, 3 days, so don't rush into your trades, exercise risk management. Okay, and if you like this video, if this video was helpful at all, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, really helps me out too. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you guys again on a Monday, or maybe if I'm feeling generous, I might actually do another live analysis tomorrow or Friday. Yeah, until next week guys, good to be here again.